For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Health incidents and mass hysteria at the Leon Hills Comprehensive Secondary School. We'll explain in just a moment. Also coming up in the broadcast, an announcement on new minimum wage and not its implementation on August the 1st. That is what you ought to expect, because initially when you heard the Prime Minister during his budget address, one got the impression that the actual livable minimum wage would have been implemented on August the 1st. Not so, says the island's Labour Minister. We'll also be hearing more from former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony's budget address, and of course a whole lot more, including some surprises. Our question of the day: why aren't the authorities reacting to allegations by countrymen? Why aren't the authorities reacting to allegations by countrymen? Welcome to another much anticipated edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. In a bit, Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room and your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. That is 716-2026. So the leader of the opposition has written a letter to the general manager of GPH St. Lucia Limited, and that individual is Lancelot Arnold, and the letter is dated the 30th of April 2024, and it reads: Dear Mr. Arnold, I acknowledge receipt of your invitation dated 29th of April 2024 to attend a commencement ceremony on the 30th of April 2024, and in spite of the well-publicized fact that I have and continue to be out of state attending to a family emergency, I thank you for your invitation. I must remind you that no attempt has been made to date to engage or to inform the opposition of the terms of this concession, despite our public statements and a public letter to the Prime Minister. Hopefully, this invitation is an indication that your company has recognized the necessity for public engagement, which should include the opposition. For the time being, it would be irresponsible of me or anyone else from the opposition to attend, as it may be construed as an endorsement of this agreement. In light of the fact that your company was awarded a 30-year concession and a 10-year extension without a bidding process, with an estimated potential revenue stream of over 1 billion EC dollars, I take this opportunity to publicly invite your company to make public the agreement you have signed with St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, SLASPA. Based on the little detail provided publicly, the terms of this agreement appear to be very one-sided and will have a significant impact on the long-standing contracts that have been in place with vendors, taxi drivers, shop owners, and tour providers. Already, we have been hearing complaints of no consultation and lack of transparency. Also very concerning is the mid-term and long-term impact this will have on SLASPA and in particular its employees. Your company is a publicly traded company, and I would hope your internal company values and the principles of governance and the current international standards would have caused you to appreciate how disconcerting this situation is. I hope your company will understand the importance and sincerity of the request to make public the agreement. It is important that you gain the trust of all stakeholders and the population in general, and that we all see this as mutually beneficial. The government has already betrayed the trust of the public, which was manifested by a minister of government who dubbed this a secret deal. To eliminate any further speculation as to the integrity of this agreement and to avoid any unnecessary confusion, I appeal to your company's best judgment. Yours respectfully, Alan Chancellor, Leader of the Opposition. Once again, a letter penned to the General Manager of GPH St. Lucia Limited, and that letter dated the 30th of April 2024 and signed by the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Alan Chancellor, who is currently overseas, and will be attempting to speak with him in just a moment on this letter that he wrote to the General Manager of GPH. Let's see if he is already on the line, and as soon we are able to establish contact with him. I suspect he is already on the line. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Alan Chancellor.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you, and how is your wife, by the way?
Thank you very much for asking. First of all, let me thank all of the well-wishers and especially all the prayers. It's been very much appreciated. We're actually still in hospital at this point, and we're hoping that her vital signs continue to improve and that they can release her very soon. And I'm hoping that we can both return home early next week.
Okay, thank you so much for that update. With regard to your letter to the General Manager of GPH St. Lucia Limited, Mr. Arnold, why the need to state those items in that letter?
Well, from the time that the announcement has been made about this arrangement, we, and I think many solutions have expressed significant amount of concerns as to what appears to be the terms of this contract. It's very difficult to understand why the government would have entered into this agreement. I don't know what added value that they bring to the table. And certainly for St. Lucia to forego almost $1 billion worth of revenue that would have been going to SLASPA and could have funded a significant amount of development, not only of the cruise ship ports, but also of all our ports in St. Lucia. is bewildering. And we have been provided no answer. So I have to say that I found it extremely strange after several attempts publicly through the Prime Minister's office to get details that I would have been invited to attend this event. And what's even more bewildering is that none of the local media were invited to this event either. So again, I think this speaks to the lack of transparency in this deal. And I'm hoping that my appeal in this letter will fall in the good graces of this public company, and that they will provide the information that we've been requesting, and so that we can get to the bottom as to how this deal was done. It was never put out to tender. The contract has never been made public. And we are seeing that contracts have been suspended with vendors, shop owners, and tour operators. And there are more questions than there are answers.
I am surprised, and I'm hearing from the first time that the media, they were not invited to attend that commencement ceremony. It's the first time I'm hearing about this. But what gives you the impression, Mr. Leader of the Opposition, that after months of asking for the particulars of this agreement to be made public, that on this occasion, the General Manager of GPH St. Lucia will accede to your request?
I don't know if he will, but it certainly, I think, out of respect, that I must give the company every opportunity to do so. So even though I was a bit put off by the lateness of the invitation, I only received the invitation yesterday for today. As I said in my letter, it's publicly known that I'm not on island. I chose to rise above that and really put the interest of the country first. And I'm hoping that this company, which is a publicly traded company on the UK stock market, that they are required to follow some governance guidelines, which would require some transparency and accountability. And I'm hoping, again, by making this public appeal, that the company will provide us with these details. Because in the absence of these details, Tim, all we're left to do is to speculate. And certainly with the information that we have, that this is $1 billion deal for them. The country's obtained nothing. We've received nothing. This idea that they're going to invest in the port is to the company's benefit. So expanding the port facilities in Castries allows them to get a better return on their investments. I'm still very concerned, and I think all solutions, and particularly the citizens of the South, should be concerned as to why the decision to have a cruise ship port, which the Labour Party supported in their manifesto, has been suspended. It only makes sense to put a cruise ship port in Viewport so that we could have home porting, which we're not very competitive in right now. And more importantly, there's more room for growth for the cruise industry in the South than there is up north. The North is very congested. To bring larger ships into Castries without a significant expansion of the road network and the number of new hotels that are coming up, Cabot, Mont Piedmont, the expansion of the Rex properties, just to name a few, is going to even make it more congested. So this makes no sense. And again, when it's left for us to speculate, I'm sorry to say that we have to ask who's benefiting from this. So one of the concerns that I have in St. Lucia, Tim, is that we're seeing a pattern of behavior from this government. And maybe there is some truth to what the Prime Minister said in Parliament, that they have to look for ways to increase the speed in which they can execute projects. But that speed is coming at the expense of accountability in St. Lucia. So what do I mean by that? The NLA, $80 million, a government guarantee, has put $80 million into the NLA, and the NLA is the one selecting all of the contractors. No information has been provided to the public. as to who the contractors are and what bidding process and what tendering process was put in place to make sure that taxpayers were getting the best value for their expenditure. We just saw with the halls of justice, a building that is going to be the most expensive building in the history of St. Lucia. The most expensive building that we saw was about $500 a square foot for construction. This particular building they're proposing, with the information they provided, is going to cost close to $1,500 a square foot. If it is 12-year bolt agreement at $144 million, that's $12 million a year, that's $1 million a month. At 100,000 square feet, that means the rent just on the principal is $10 a square foot. And if you include just 5% financing, we're talking about that this is going to be close to $15 a square foot. Let's put that in perspective. The Dyer Mall is $4 a square foot. So you're talking about that this is going to cost 3 times the amount of money. But more importantly, how did did NH get the contract? Was this put out to tender? What's the role of NIC? What's the role of NIPRO? How did this all come about? And why were all of our procurement guidelines bypassed once again? The situation at St. Jude's. Between what was spent before we came into office in 2016, which was about $140 million, and then we spent about $130 million on building a new building. The government now, in the budget, is proposing to spend $265 million to complete this project. I mean, that's a lot of chemical and a lot of paint. That's a lot of money, Tim. And the tendering process that was put in place for St. Jude's was for qualifications. Wasn't on the actual building itself. And my understanding is only one company qualified, which is a company that is a joint venture between Renault Gajada and a Saudi Arabian firm. And my understanding now is the intention of this government to, again, bypass putting anything out to bid and awarding the construction contract to this company by simply saying, oh, they're the only company. But what in essence they have done, again, is bypass the procurement procedure guidelines for the government. The CIP, here it is, the government now, one position and now in Shastney for what's taking place. They're the ones fully accountable for what's taking place with CIP. And that it's their actions that are jeopardizing the loss of our visa-free access. But more importantly, this government is attempting to have an infrastructural project which is already out for sale, have provided zero details to the solutions, the persons they're accountable to, the persons who elected them into office, as to how this program is going to work. Who is now the agent that has been approved to sell the passports? Who is going to be collecting the money? Because my understanding is the money is no longer going to be coming to the CIP or to the government of St. Lucia. The money is going to go straight to the developer. The developer now is going to select who the contractors are. So again here, taxpayers' monies owned by the state are being sidelined, and a different process as to how and who is selected to do the work is being done in a very non-transparent way. So all these things are very concerning, and this GPH deal falls in the same way. What the government has in essence done, awarded the concession to the port to a third party, and that third party now is not obligated to follow any of the procurement guidelines in St. Lucia, and are going to be making the selection by themselves as to who the contractors are going to be and how the money is going to be spent.
Now, in the chat room, Mr. Leader of the Opposition, in the chat room, somebody is saying that you need to tackle the government. We have no business with the company. File an injunction to stop it until we get some form of accountability. What is the next move by the opposition if, for example, Mr. Arnold does not respond to your letter and accede to your request?
Well, I want to say that, first of all, that we have written to the Prime Minister. This was a deal that was done by SLASPA, which is a statutory agency and has its own act. The purpose of writing GPH is, as I said, GPH is a publicly held company, and there are some levels of transparency because they're a public company that they have to follow through with. And I certainly want to make sure that the British Stock Exchange knows this, the public knows about these things, and give them every opportunity to solve the problem. The ultimate accountability would be if, in fact, we were elected in the next elections, and that we would have the opportunity to review all of these contracts and the legality of these contracts. Is it legal that the government put these things out and gave these concessions out without going out to tender? Can anybody say that GPH has used its position and then somehow coalesced or colluded with ministers in order of getting this project issued? I mean, these are just questions. And certainly, if we were in government, we would have access to more information to make the determination as to what the truth is. But we've not gotten to that point. I'm hoping that we don't get to that point. I'm hoping that, again, our appeal publicly to the company to make the contract public, and that people in St. Lucia can have more confidence that this is a mutually beneficial agreement. But the details we have right now, it comes across as a very one-sided deal, and I certainly want it to be known that the opposition will stand in solidarity with the vendors, with the taxi drivers, with the tour operators, the tour providers in this country. We'll also stand in solidarity with the staff of SLASCO, who've done nothing wrong. This is one of the most successful statutory agencies that St. Lucia has had. There's nothing that GPH is bringing to the table that SLASCO could not have done. And we feel very bad that one of the greatest success stories in St. Lucia is being undermined. And we certainly are going to stand in solidarity with SLASPA and its staff members in particular against this very egregious, irresponsible action that's taking place.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with us, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, just there from the leader of the opposition, Mr. Alan Chastney, speaking with us from the United States. And a letter has been penned to the general manager of GPH St. Lucia Limited, Mr. Lancelot Arnold. And the leader of the opposition is asking for certain disclosures with regard to the particulars pertaining to that GPH project, which will result in it taking over the ports. That would be the Castries port as well as Soufrière. Let's hear from you at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. So again, calls are being made for full disclosure, for the government to be as transparent as possible as far as that agreement between the government and people of St. Lucia and the GPH. I've not been able to confirm this, but you heard from the leader of the opposition, Mr. Alan Chastney, claiming that this commencement ceremony is taking place today, and the media, members of the media, were not invited to cover that event. What is in the chat room, Kimani? Once again, your calls at 452-2979 and your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026.
Someone says, we need answers. Another comment, the National Trust cannot be trusted. Someone says, shouldn't governments get in the habit of making any contractual agreements public? Another comment, this GPH deal will lead us to Haiti. Someone is asking, do the Soufrière Foundation workers know what will happen to them? Now, no one can talk like Rick would say, not a word, not a word, not a word, but we all will feel it. The pots are not ours anymore. We need answers to questions, Emma Hippolyte. Someone says, everyone is now silent. Chamber of Commerce is in bed with the government while the National Trust is hiding under the bed. Tomorrow is Labor Day. I don't like that holiday.
But somebody's saying that there's some kind of sound that's coming from the bed. So somebody needs to say something. What do you think, Imani?
I think so. I agree.
There's some rocking. Something is taking place. There's dust falling in your eyes under the bed, right? Something must be. Something is all right.
Someone says tomorrow is Labor Day. I don't like that holiday. It should be Flabo Day, LOL. Another comment, but now we all, and I say we all as St. Lucians, should be protesting the handing over of our ports to a foreign company. Another comment, today was the handing over the ports to GPH under the fool's nose disguising jazzy event and free tickets while St. Lucia is going down the drain. Time soon come when all these transactions will reverse when our incoming Prime Minister Alan Michael Chasney returns.
But it should not take a new administration to convince a government that there is need for you to make certain disclosures to the people of St. Lucia regarding this deal. The port does not belong to any politician. It does not belong to any political party, whether it's red, green, yellow, or orange. It belongs to the people of this country. And very often when it's convenient for us, we talk about patrimony. I don't think that we understand the magnitude of what is before us right now in terms of a precedent that is being set by this administration, and in terms of what has transpired before, where deals are being made in our name, certain agreements are being signed, and the people are not kept in the loop. The people are not informed as to the particulars. As the Prime Minister likes to say, in a few decades he might not be around. What will happen to the young people of this country who have to coexist with certain decisions that were taken by previous administrations? For me, and this is a much abused word now, it's quite egregious. It's obvious that the government has something to hide as far as this deal is concerned, because otherwise the government would just come and provide us with the nitty-gritty, the information, the particulars surrounding that deal. A simple thing like whether VA4 will benefit under that arrangement, whether the VA4 port will be rehabilitated, whether there'll be any kind of transformation in VA4. We all know what is happening in sections of that southern part of the island, crying out for economic development so that the people can benefit directly from it. What the government is basically saying, and the government, and I know there'll be some red herring where the Prime Minister very soon and others in the government will make reference to the leader of the opposition and the opposition in particular. But this is not a matter between the two. It's not an issue that will affect the two, whether it's the government or the opposition. It is in the people's interest. It is actually the people's business to know what is in that deal. It is not sufficient to say it's a 30-year deal and this will be developed, there'll be expansion there, etc., and maybe there'll be an extension for 10 years. That's all you're saying to us. We need to get more information so that we can look at the possible implications of that deal. And people, I think most people in St. Lucia, they are fair enough to tell you that this is a good deal. It will work to our benefit. Let us analyze it for ourselves. In a democracy, that is what obtains. People will be able to call the various talk shows, be able to call NewsSpin and make comments on it one way or the other and say, I am in agreement with this, I am in disagreement with this. And maybe the government would be able to tweak certain things, because when you're discussing things publicly, then all of a sudden you're enlightened. As a government which would have signed that deal, you would realize that you made an error here or there, and then you can go back to the drawing board. But I think as it stands now, what I'm reading is that the government is openly, deliberately saying to the people of St. Lucia that this has nothing to do with you. It's not your business. I've made a decision, and that is it. There wasn't any announcement that this ceremony would be taking place today. I mean, if you believe that this is a good deal, it's a great deal, it is something that is transformative, you announce it. Could have announced it during your budget address. But the government believes that it can do certain things quietly and keep the people of this country in the dark. What is absolutely sad is that when a couple of people are speaking and raising such issues, they are deemed by a section of the society to be troublemakers. Because people of influence, a number of institutions, a number of organizations, and we can identify a few. I could imagine the trade unions could say, the TUF, Trade Union Federation, could say something. The union that's representing the workers at SLASPA could say something. Your St. Lucia National Trust could issue a press release. And I'm not saying it has to be one way or the other. We can't dictate their opinion, but they can opine on such an important thing. I mean, I grew up at Hospital Road, a stone's throw away from the Castries port. So there is this, identify with the port, identify with the Bannans Bay area, Latok area, etc. But to realize that when you look at this port, it really does not belong to us. It will not belong to us for 3 decades. It will be leased, not sold, people are saying sold. It will be leased to another entity. We have certain situations taking place in some parts of the Caribbean, in Africa in particular, where the Chinese either leasing or owning certain ports. And you read all the articles, not flattering, whether it's on the Washington Post website or the New York Times, the Financial Times, etc. And people express concern in the case of St. Lucia because of all the secrecy. We are not even in a position to opine intelligently on the leasing of our ports. And for some of you watching and listening to this broadcast right now, not a big deal. Let's see if we can squeeze in a call, and then we'll take a commercial break. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Mr. Poleon, bon après-midi.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, Tim, let me ask you a question.
I hope it's not a question that you already know the answer to, eh?
No, I'm not doing question, sir.
No, l'année question qui pas fait ça. But Timothy, question.
Tim, you believe if it was the United Workers' Party that was in government, with that GPH, they would have not furnished the people of St. Lucia an idea as to what they're doing?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. What I know is what I know is what's happening before me. Now I'm dealing with the reality. I'm not going if it was UWP, if they wouldn't make it public. I don't know. I'm not into wasting time.
No,
what is before me right now? I'm dealing with what is before me. I'm not going into hypothetical and what if, etc. I'm not going to that.
I agree, Mr. Poleon, because I'm listening to you there. You said, what is the secrecy about this deal? What is the secret? Why, what we have to know if the deal is good, if the deal is not good. I am telling you, there is one transparent government, and there is one government who don't give a damn about nobody. You heard it before. It's none of your business. I am not forcing you to take a direction that I'm taking. I am telling you, and it is a fact, that if it was the United Workers' Party in government, they would not go to a deal.
Caller,
it is a cheap deal.
Caller, I think you're muddying the waters.
I'm not muddying waters.
You are muddying the waters. Because that has nothing to do with UWP and SLP, etc. It has everything to do with St. Lucia and the people of St. Lucia being kept out of the loop on this. Imagine you have a commencement ceremony into a project of that nature, and we are learning of it via a letter that's written to the general manager of GPH. I have not seen a press release from the press secretary to the prime minister, not received a press release from the information minister or the investment minister, not receive anything from the NTN. And this is taking place in the name of St. Lucia. I don't care about UWP and SLP and that issue.
No, I am not. You said you would, but I'm talking about transparency. That's what I'm talking about between the two administrations.
Okay, caller, I'm going to take a break. because I really need to take a break right now. Thank you so much for calling. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. We have a number of issues to discuss on the program: mass hysteria and health incidents at the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Get ready to turn up the heat with KFC's blazing Burn-A-Box deal. For only $30, you'll feast on 2 succulent chicken pieces, dive into the exclusive new bacon melt sandwich, savor crispy regular fries, and wash it all down with a refreshing regular drink. But wait, tune into the radio and keep an eye on social media for limited discount tickets and ticket giveaways to see Burna Boy on May 3rd. One lucky winner and 3 friends will snag VIP and backstage passes. Just grab your Burna box, jot your name and number on the receipt, and drop it in the box provided for your chance to win. Ignite your taste adventure with KFC's Burna Box today.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Catching your vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more wet flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More upon more wet flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video cast app, unlimited talk so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 $ to activate.
Now that's the new vibe and the lingo. Yes. More upon more say the tingo. It's more with flow now you really know. Catch it now. All these deals make you save more. Get more.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. NightMeds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Suffrage Jazz, the ultimate experience. On the fringe of St. Lucia Jazz, yet taking main focus is Suffrage Jazz, the ultimate experience. Featuring Taunton legend, Future Lights, Rob Zai and Finesse, TYP, Ricky T, Tedison John, Headliners, Nyla Blackman. Skinny Fabulous, Taurus Riley, she's royal, yeah, so royal. Presented by the Sufra Event Management Organization. Sunday, May 5th at the Sufra Mini Stadium from 3 p.m. General admission, $130 EC. VIP, $400 EC. Get your tickets at fourcirclestickets.com. SRDF, The Cell, Sufra Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Hey guys, guess what? Because your dad deserves more, Europa is giving more. They're bringing back the wow on Friday, June 14th with the very popular Culture Day for Father's Day. Last year was a blast and this year will be explosive. So fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers, all the dads of St. Lucia and all the moms who stand for dad, we are knocking out 15% discount on all pressure washers, vacuum cleaners, upholstery cleaners, in fact, on all carton machines. And that's not all. With turbo impact drills, rotary hammer drills, angle grinders, power saws, jigsaws, and sanders too. This year we are throwing the kitchen sink out for dads.
Missy, ça non vle encore. Pour like diwi.
Europa June 14th. I not.
WhatsApp calls and messages 452-2979, 452-2979. As far as your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And we turn over to Kimani and the chat room.
In the chat room, someone says, what St. Lucians are not realizing is that the money to develop that port is coming from our banks. So my question is, where is the foreign investment? St. Lucians should be informed of this deal. It begs the question as to why is the relevant information not being released. Many times, silence is deafening. Equally, such information must not be left to speculation.
And one of that, I think it's disrespectful. And somebody in the chat room made reference to a Freedom of Information Act. I think you have one in Antigua, you have one in Trinidad and Tobago. Attempts were made a few years ago to have such a law enacted in St. Lucia. Because under an Freedom of Information Act, any citizen can apply to get information. Now, the government would deny you that information if they believe that it's too sensitive and it could affect the country's national security and things of that nature. But at least you have an opportunity as a citizen to know what is happening within your country. So imagine you're a member of a family and your mom or your dad together, they're making a critical decision that could have long-term implications for you, and you're not invited to have a say, to have a discussion, and just seeing things happening around you without any kind of explanation. I think that is what is happening to us in St. Lucia right now. And unfortunately, so many people are silent. Many people are not speaking out. And it's not a case, as I said earlier on, we want you to say that you are against the deal. We just want you to speak on it because you are a St. Lucian. And one way or the other, this deal will affect you. Let's take a call via WhatsApp as we say hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Tim, good day.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I heard your last caller quizzing you, man. So you might not like what I'm going to ask you.
No. The caller was not on point. The caller was looking at this from the micro level, very too small. I mean, UWP, SLP. If it was UWP, don't you think they would have made the deal public? I don't know that. What is before us right now? Let's deal with what is before us right now.
But he was going on precedence, Tim. Precedence. So that's what I'm coming on now.
That was just.
I would ask you a question.
That was just a time-wasting exercise. Okay.
Okay. All right, Tim. Tim, that have a similar. That latest GPH issue. It reminds me of the previous issue, the seabed.
Grandberg.
The seabed issue, which to date nobody have taken responsibility for. And it kind of, I've been having flashbacks since morning when I learned of that handing over. Flashbacks of the persons I saw on Casaba Beach. I saw public servants there. I saw doctors. I saw lawyers.
Trade unionists.
Police officers. There. On Casaba Beach. Where are those people?
At least they could
National Trust people. Where are the National Trust people?
At least they could pen a song called the Port is Mine.
Yeah, the port is mine, yes. Yes, we have to sing that. I'll sing a song, this year.
Yeah, man, the port is mine.
I might not get no sponsors. The way things going, I might not get anybody to sponsor me. Or they might not allow me to sing. Because nowadays I heard it burning people's songs before the season starts. Tim, we have 6 other people, What are people in the maritime thing, in the yacht club? Where is your favorite friend?
The maritime sector.
Up north. Yeah, your friend up north, Steve, in the marina. Where is he? Call him. I want to hear his view on that. He probably was at the ceremony. But you see those people have to be brought to the square, Tim. One of those days, those people have to be brought to... You see on a hot day like today, those people have to be chained in the square and be taught a lesson, Because if they have to be consistent, the National Trust people, the SLASPA people, the public servants, those who have retired doing the nonsense that they were doing from the time they were in the service, those people have to be brought to account, made to account. But you'll not hear them now, but you're going to hear them later. Tim, anyway, it's jazz. Let us drink, get drunk, and be merry. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you so much. Somebody says, the port is mine. I can sell it anytime. Did you see that in the chat room, Kimani?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, the port is mine. I can sell it anytime. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Yeah, Tipi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, Kimani, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah. Tipi, I'm calling this afternoon without no ill intentions and no malice. Today I heard on a news broadcast that we've had 334 youth murders over the last 10 years, over the last decade.
No, over the last 10, because in, from 2014 to now.
14 years. Well, that's a decade. Well, Stevie, I'm going to run something by you. Between 2022 to the present, we've had 258 murders. 75 in 2021, 76 in 2022, 75 in 2023, and 32 to date. That's 258. We had 60 in 2017. That is 318. We had 29 in 2018, which is 347. So, incidentally, 2018 was the lowest homicide rate we've had in the last 20 years. Now, Tim, that's just 5 years and 4 months, we've had 347 homicides. That doesn't include 2014. It doesn't include 2015. It does not include 2016. It doesn't include 2019. It does not include 2020. So if youth homicides from 65 to 75% of homicides in this country, 324 can never be corrected if you have to add on these missing 5 years. That's all I have to say to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your point of view with us. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let me see if I have a WhatsApp message to go through. No. Let's see if we have another one. Please bear with me. We're trying to access. Okay. Tim, you said it right. The Prime Minister has said it too many times. That's not your business. Another call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You on the air?
Bon après-midi, Mr. Tim.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Et puis bon après-midi, Kimani.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Tim, ça c'est un club chat, Tim. Pour moi, c'est ouais que Cabot te venu dans cette mission et moi quantité moun qui dit yo indiqué et puis yo ay goumé contre Cabot et qu'à présent construire à pied gauche le bas parti yo tout embrasser Cabot. Bon, moi ka crier à sous même ces moun ça la quitter ay goumé contre Cabot. Pour ti yo pas ka goumé contre la Philippe J. Pierre lycée pour GPH. Ça c'est un club team parce que moi ka ouais là dans chaque jour fait ici depuis famille qui te un petit morceau terre et ben en la rampe et yo tout passer yo ka goumé contre yo na l'autre. Et puis pour ti oiseau yo pas ka sorti pour venir goumé contre Philippe J. Pierre qui ka lycée pop nous et nous pas même savent qui ça qui ka le team. Ça c'est un club chez moi qui crié sous National Fortress vini ben nous explanation. Ça c'est un hôtel parce que moun qui dit yo éduqué yo ka menstiper à ce moun qui pas ka faire research moun qui pas ka faire capture pour koyo. Et puis moi ka dit les techniciens depuis la Philippe J. Pierre te fait annoncement ça là que il te ka lycée pot kasui et puis pot soufouye pour GPH et puis leader opposition sorti il fait une explanation bon nous te ha pour là où ya GPH pas te ka n'a peine venir au dia fait pièce cérémonie moi quand crier sur le technicien j'allais pour nous lever nous ka parler trop sans nous pour action Tim c'est ça moi ka quitter pour journée au dia.
Okay, merci. Breaking news, RSLPF, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, charges parent for assault on student. Remember that incident which reportedly occurred sometime last week, and I think maybe we have the video, or maybe we could try to access it. I'm not too sure if we'll be able to. But the press release from the RSLPF reads, on Wednesday, 24th of April, 2024, the Labrie Police Station commenced investigations into a report of assault perpetrated in PI Labrie. Investigations were sent to address the report, and initial inquiries indicated that a 16-year-old male secondary school student had been accosted by the mother of another student. The young male sustained injuries during the incident, necessitating medical attention. On Friday, April 26, 2024, the Labrie Police Station formally arrested and charged Adina Blanchard of Cedar Heights, V4, with 2 counts of unlawful damage, 2 counts of assault, and 1 count of trespassing, and 1 count of grievous harm in connection with this matter. 47-year-old Adina Blanchard was escorted to the 2nd District Court in Soufrière for bail purposes, and bail was granted with the following conditions: 2 counts of unlawful damage, $700, cash, suitable surety, and or land documents; 2 counts of unlawful assault, $500, cash, suitable surety, and or land documents, respectively; trespassing, $500, cash, suitable surety, and or land documents; and grievous harm, $2,000, cash, suitable surety, and or land documents. Once again, RSLPF charges parent for assault on student. So let's continue with more news as far as the island's education system is concerned, involving one particular learning institution, and that is the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. Apparently something has happened at that learning institution. I don't know if it has to do with the children's health or some other things that has certainly impacted their behavior and their health. So a letter has been penned to the parents of the school dated April 29th, 2024. And it reads, "Dear parents/guardians, we are writing to inform you of a series of health incidents that occurred at Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School on Friday, 26th of April, and which continued on Monday, April 29th. During this time, some students experienced fainting spells, chest pains, headaches, and in some cases, seizures. Initial investigation and findings. The school administration, working alongside medical professionals, conducted a preliminary investigation into these incidents. This investigation revealed the following: pre-existing conditions. Some affected students have a history of medical conditions such as epilepsy, fainting spells, heart conditions, and anemia. Dietary concerns. We also identified potential dietary concerns, with some students reporting eating little to nothing throughout the school day and not drinking sufficient water. Mass hysteria. It is important to note that though some cases were cause for legitimate concern, preliminary investigations with the medical practitioners suggest that the majority of these incidents may be attributed to panic attacks stemming from mass hysteria. Mass hysteria can occur when a group of people experience similar symptoms due to heightened anxiety or a perceived threat, often leading to contagion of symptoms. Ongoing investigation and subsequent action. The school, alongside medical professionals and the parents/guardians of students directly impacted, will continue to investigate these incidents to gain a clearer understanding of what transpired. Recommendations for parents, guardians. In light of these events, we encourage you to discuss these issues with your child and offer the following recommendations. Maintaining regular meals and hydration. Please ensure your child eats healthy, balanced meals throughout the day and drinks plenty of water. Open communication. Encourage open communication with your child so they feel comfortable talking to you about any health concerns or anxieties they may be experiencing. Medical checkups. If your child has experienced any of the symptoms mentioned above, we recommend scheduling a checkup with their doctor and informing the school administration of the outcome. School support. The school intends to provide support and resources to any student who may be feeling anxious or overwhelmed. Additionally, once we are fully informed of the nature of the situation, we will be implementing strategies to bring a speedy resolution to our usually calm and peaceful school environment. We understand that this may be a cause for concern, and we assure you that the health and well-being of our students is our top priority. We will continue to keep you updated on any further developments. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. Sincerely, Florence Gustav Dennis, Mrs. Florence Gustav Dennis, Acting Principal of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School. So this is what has been happening at that learning institution, and the further investigations are on the way. But the question is why such incidents are not happening or have not occurred in recent times, in particular at the other schools on island. So I hope it's related, it's a health-related incident. That's what I'm hoping. And I hope that also that the relevant authorities will continue the investigation to ascertain the cause of what has been described as those health incidents. Talking about mass hysteria, among other things. So that is very, very serious. Let's take a call via WhatsApp as we say hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Bonjour petit, je sorti à l'Angleterre.
Oui, bon après-midi, monsieur.
Ça fait.
Moi blanc, et café maybe. It's about what, 6:30 now? 6:30 en Angleterre? Oui.
6:30 exactement.
Oui.
So moi quand tu me blanc les fous, bah maintenant raconter, moi blanc les fous bah slowly pour elle me blanc dit qu'il laisse bi on laisse pas pour pers ni les blancs les flambeaux. Bi on est quoi? Tim t'es qui cabot t'es côté ça là regarder Jack dans Bevan my beach là. T'es comment on là?
Ça t'était banque là, banque qui tenait. Ça pas été SNLC.
Okay, that is right. Bon, qui ça c'est le SLP a fait cette piste open. Cherche les bails yo, eh ben me pas explainer, yo ka dit ça me pas explainer. Qui là aussi est hondia. Ça qui mon yé.
Well, the port belongs to the people of St. Lucia, says SNLC.
That is right. Okay, team, nous allons story but team. Si vous faites un homme et pour payer qui laisse deal ou pas qui primaire de deal ça ou pour ça qui s'appelle il y a bail mouni de terre chercher bail pour caboter faire bail c'est terre buckle qui laisse qui primaire est-ce là on dit buckle para faire ça il est baraini
oui qu'a fait ça vle et puis NIC de qu'a fait pli là sous ça because là yo pour être cabot là
exactement team qui on est c'est team massage de cette zéro c'est des top hypocrite team qui on est un artiste ça si porter bail gon how ça si porter bail gon team là on ka si porter c'est bail ça team pays a bail d'ouvre parce que pays a bagna c'est moun qui honnête if I work like that just be honest with each other tout le monde va supporter Jack Double from my beach pour que ça qui ça moi la police moi la tout qualité moun qui li docteur nurse tout qualité surgeon tout qualité et puis après ça ils ont fait là billion times plus mauvais. La place on barrière, team. Super la mode, c'est une top hypocrite. Bye bye.
Okay, merci pour couiller.
All the best.
All right, all the way calling from London where it's now 6:33 in the PM. Some more of your calls. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Mass hysteria at Leon here. The children are saying that some students were playing the game Charlie Charlie. That's what brought on the mass hysteria on Friday and on Monday. The letter from the school doesn't mention that, and I'm wondering why.
I myself, I don't know. I've tried to inquire to find out exactly what is behind this because anytime you come across a letter or a press release from anyone, you have to ask questions beyond what is written on that piece of paper.
Yeah, what brought on the mass hysteria?
Yeah.
I mean, all children that are sick, they decide to faint and have seizures on Friday and on Monday. Why didn't they do that on Thursday or today? Why didn't that happen? I think the school is covering up. I wish they were a little more transparent.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the investigation, if they decide to inform what exactly happened.
Okay.
But I think there's more to it. According to the students, some students were playing Charlie Charlie.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. And somebody said another question, is the Ministry of Education aware of this situation, and was this letter under their direction or knowledge? Questions upon questions for education authorities in St. Lucia, in particular the island's education minister, as well as the chief education officer. Is the Ministry of Education aware of this situation, and was this letter under their direction or knowledge? 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. I think we have a call. Let's see if we can put this call on the air. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Okay, let's try again. Good afternoon.
Good Timothy, a pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. PW on the line, Timothy. Timothy, the vendors of St. Lucia have to pay a heavy price when it comes to GPH, Timothy. You know, I went to a meeting, Timothy, and who chaired that meeting was Sean Matthew, Timothy. And when he presented his arguments to the vendors, Timothy, I must say, it came and it went through one ear of some of the vendors, and it went out through the other ear. Lots of convoluted statements when Sean Matthew had his meeting. And I can tell you, he wasn't transparent and honest with the vendors, with the taxi drivers, and the government is doing the same thing too. But what are you hearing from civil society? What are you hearing from the National Trust? What are you hearing from the unions? What are you hearing? You are hearing nothing from them. And it's a pattern with this government. As they say, the Solution Labour Party said, death to Grindberg, death to the banana industry, death to St. Jude, death to the Gozile Highway, and they're saying death to the Derek Walcott Museum. It's a pattern of things. They never know what they're doing. They never present, contracts to us. So we the people, and the Chamber of Commerce can look at and make a good decision of what is taking place with GPH. What about the past and former members of the SLASPA, Timothy? What about the general manager of SLASPA? Who appointed him? This government appointed him. Don't tell me otherwise. This government appointed him. At one time, SLASPA had some of the best council members, and I can tell you some of the names. Benny Manuel, Gerald Vegas, Oswald Augustine, you have Katrina Koba, Michael Shidoli, Ken Compton, Georgie Taylor, Alexander, and Ivan Scoreberry. These were men that were in charge of SLASPA. Some of them are dead, some of them are still alive. But we are not hearing from them about this deal the government has embarked on. And I know that Comfort DJ has a lot to say and to give his opinion about this GPH. The government needs to come clean, they need to be honest, and they need to be transparent with the people of St. Lucia. And if they're not transparent, solutions need to take to the streets, and the vendors need to take to the streets to make their voices heard in this simply beautiful St. Lucia. Timothy, I thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Let's see if we have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says, Tim, we are now at the lowest of lows. The government is now signing significant projects without our consent. St. Lucians, the time to act is now. Let us protest and get this ridiculous crap bunch of clueless out of office. We made a huge mistake at the polls, or the last polls. Let us now correct this. Unfortunately, we are back. Okay, so we were off the 97.9 FM frequency earlier on for a few minutes, and I think my technical producer has managed to put us back on. So we back on 97.9 FM. Our apologies to you, those of you who lost our signal for a few moments, but we are always on YouTube and the NewsSpin Facebook page. Still to come, more of your calls, more of your reaction to that letter from the leader of the opposition to the general manager of GPH as you continue to monitor NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM as well as YouTube and Facebook.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus takes charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilec's remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Catch the new vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more wet flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More upon more wet flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video, can't stop. Unlimited talk, so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 $ to activate.
Now that's the new vibe in the lingo. Yes. More upon more, see how the tingo. It's more wet flow, now you really know. Catch it now. All these deals make you save more. Get more.
The new home of the best country music is Power 97.9 FM.
Say the stars are bound to fade.
Switch us on Join Me, DJ Jerry, this and every Thursday from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold, the best in country music.
Your bags are packed and waiting.
The new, the oldies, and the goldies. So let's make it a date. This and every Thursday with me, DJ Jerry, from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold. If it's Thursday, it's Country Gold Thursday. Country Gold, only on Power 97.9 FM.
I lead a rich, rewarding life.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Craving an unforgettable experience? Immerse yourself in pulsating rhythms. Libate your palate with the finest booze. It's Rhythm and Booze, a jazz Sunday unlike any other. Indulge in a breakfast-inclusive event at the Sandals Golf and Country Club, May 12 from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Dance to the sounds of St. Lucia's hottest DJs and savor your favorite breakfast dishes. Rhythm and Booze. Get your early bird tickets now for $150, $175 regular. Available at all sell outlets and eventbrite.com. Don't miss this unforgettable Jazz Sunday. Rhythm and Booze. Sandals Golf and Country Club, May 12th. Rhythm and Booze. This event is powered by Chairman's Reserve, JB Chenet, and KFC.
Cause when we roll, we don't roll alone.
Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. On the fringe of St. Lucia Jazz, yet taking main focus is Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. Featuring Taunton legend, Future Lights, Rob Zai and Finesse, TYP, Ricky T, Tedison John, Headliners, Nyla Blackman. Skinny Fabulous. Taurus Riley.
She's royal, yeah, so royal.
Presented by the Sufra Event Management Organization. Sunday, May 5th at the Sufra Mini Stadium from 3 p.m. General admission, $130 EC dollars. VIP, $400 EC dollars. Get your tickets at fourcirclestickets.com. SRDF, The Cell, Sufra Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Hey guys, guess what? Because your dad deserves more, Europa is giving more. They're bringing back the wow on Friday, June 14th with the very popular Culture Day for Father's Day. Last year was a blast and this year will be explosive. So fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers, all the dads of St. Lucia and all the moms who stand for dad, we are knocking off 15% discount on all pressure washers, vacuum cleaners, upholstery cleaners, in fact, on all carton machines. And that's not all. With turbo impact drills, rotary hammer drills, angle grinders, power saws, jigsaws, and sanders too. This year we are throwing the kitchen sink out for dads. Europa June 14th. I not.
Vibes, music, and good people at the Deriso Jazz and Arts Festival. Wednesday, May 1st from 4 p.m. The Deriso playing field comes alive, featuring Nintas, Sean B, General Bakes, Avot Sevis, Oshun, Shoya, Jason, BL, and more. Also performing live, Burning Flames.
What you want tonight? Will you remember me tomorrow?
And WCK. Tickets $180 VIP, $100 regular, and children $40. Available at James Supermarket, Dairy Soul, St. Uge Auto Parts, Viewport, and Ziggy Salon, JQ Mall, Rodney Bay. Pulsating rhythms, good vibes only. Wednesday, 1st May from 4 p.m. on the Dairy Soul playing field. Deriso Jazz and Arts Festival. Sponsored by St. Lucia Tourism Authority, Lucelec, Blue Media, Blue Printing, MG's Travel, Power 97.9 FM, Crave Box SLU, Laura's Construction, Wizzo Limited, St. Lucia Distillers, Coconut Bay Resort and Spa, and Godad's Catering.
But I would expect him to make that announcement on a significant date, which is Emancipation Day, and then he will give the details on the effective dates. And from the time you give the effective date, because you have to give the employers some time to put things in place. And interestingly, the minimum wage, based on our assessment, will cost employers some extra money. And therefore, you have to give them time to organize.
The island's Labour Minister, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, speaking on Monday, that's during a pre-cabinet press briefing. Now, you heard her. She said a couple of things. The announcement will be on a new minimum wage and not its actual implementation. Because when the Prime Minister was speaking during his budget presentation earlier this month, one got the impression, and it was reported on subsequently, and people are making all kinds of comments, that the minimum wage would actually take effect on August the 1st. Now you're hearing from the Labour Minister that is not so. So an announcement will be made regarding the minimum wage on August the 1st, but its implementation will be announced at a later date. Over in Trinidad and Tobago, January of this year, the minimum wage increased from $17.50 an hour to $20. Immediately, certain employers decided to increase the cost of their certain goods and services. But there was a reaction from consumers. Consumers decided to boycott many of those businesses. And what the minister just said there, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, is that the minimum wage will come at a cost to employers. Does that mean that whatever services or goods that are being offered by those employers, whether there will be an increase? What will be the reaction of consumers in St. Lucia? We all know how this will play out. In the year 2009, a minimum wage commission was set up by the government of St. Lucia, and it recommended a monthly wage rate of $750. And this was based on the Central Statistic Office's poverty line average of $550 plus inflation. What will be the new minimum wage in St. Lucia whenever that decision is taken? And maybe that's something we're going to discuss during the course of this week. What is the ideal minimum wage that should be offered to the workers of St. Lucia when you take the level of poverty into consideration, inflation, the high cost of living, among other things? We can discuss that during the course of this week. Let's take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Bon après-midi, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, bon après-midi, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah. Après-midi, on a quitté tout anglais, moi posé pour l'autre fois, nous parlons que what.
Nakuto.
Nous commençons à observer, Tim, parmi nous, les sept lycées, mais majorité de nous pas obligés tous, vous comprenez? Nous plus intéressés en parler, passer nous point action pour les en bagaille qui aller qui pas en goût, vous comprenez? Avec les nous quitter rivière dans des coups, avec nous pas ça fait rien about lui. Eh bien nous pas ça fait tellement about lui. C'est les nous qui veulent faire et quoi about lui. Est-ce que bagaille ça là qui aller là avec GPH whatever. C'est pas tellement bagaille qui ça corriger about lui encore. Vous comprenez? Les majorité par document assignés. Vous comprenez? Avec tout le temps les été formé côté peut-être un prime ministre t'es ça levé. Moun même t'es ça levé. Yo pas fait rien. Comme si yo a dit yo a dans un sommeil, yo a dormi. Vous comprenez?
Oui.
Et après c'est comme si yo levé dans un sommeil. Vous comprenez? Et yo a dit yo pas te ka dormir mais yo levé. Sou levé c'est dormir, te ka dormir. Vous comprenez ça veut dire là? So now we comme si yo a dit prime Mr. Chasneper là, n'a pas dit rien, pas bon, vous comprenez? Mais now we comme c'était pas tellement côté nous ça aller avec ça. Et majorité bagaille qui a fait cette liste, c'est conseil là pour nous mettre des pieds nous à terre, nous ca mettre bouche nous à terre. Vous comprenez? Et qui va travailler en faveur non. Vous comprenez que ça qui a fait là, il passe à des faits. En opinion moi ça y est, m'a dit un petit bagaille va sortir à bord client mais mon pièce gamme rien qu'il fait. Garder trop sérieux about ça. C'est ça mon pour dire.
Okay. Merci beaucoup. What's our message? When are the gas station attendants getting their apartments in cul-de-sac? And when is Mr. Frederick going to take the opposition leader to the Privileges Committee for lying about his 5-day visa? And almost 1 year on, when is the special prosecutor going to take someone to court? Kimani, what's in the chat room?
In the chat room, someone says, Tim, the tail wagging the dog. Tim, my grandson is attending this school, but he has been home studying for CXC. I had him listen to the tape you just played. My lady, that is what my grandson told me. They said the children were playing Charlie Charlie. Another comment, I hope the different entities are hearing our cries while they are in power, because when they will be in opposition, we will ask them, where were they when we were crying out? Someone says, it used to be everybody peeping, now it's everybody covering St. Lucie Fini. Tim, climate change is causing that and the Saharan dust as well, referring to the incident at the Leona Secondary School. Another comment, it has something to do with the environment, Tim. Someone says, these bail amounts are too low, that is why our crime rate is so high, referring to the press release from the RSLPF. Someone says, Sai, leasing of our existing ports with no accountability to the people of the nation, diabolical. This is a complex situation with significant implications for both the economy and development of Vieux-Fort. While it's important to consider the potential benefits of foreign investment, it's also crucial to ensure that the interests and needs of the country and people are not overlooked or sidelined. Transparency and consultation with affected stakeholders, the people of the nation, are essential in such deals to ensure that they are fair and mutually beneficial. Balancing economic growth with environmental and social considerations is key for sustainable development. The way in which this is being handled is wrong on many, many, many levels, deep cause for concern.
I imagine I'm just getting information that this commencement ceremony, which took place this morning, it basically symbolizes a culmination of negotiations between the government of St. Lucia and Global Ports Holding. So basically, the deal has been finalized between GPH and the government of St. Lucia. And I remember that the investment minister, among others, would have said that they could not have revealed the contents of that agreement because it can jeopardize the agreement. So at no point in time did they realize, maybe very close to when it would have been finalized, that they should have take the people of this country into their confidence regarding that agreement. I just believe, honestly, it is a bad move on the part of the government. It sets a dangerous precedent. It's also disrespectful. And for the people of St. Lucia, they're just taking it silently. Now, if I know my people well, silence does not mean acquiescence. It does not mean that there is buy-in. The people of St. Lucia, I know they are very, very docile, but they are also very unpredictable. But I just hope that at some point in time, the government would be able to disclose the contents of that agreement to the people of St. Lucia, because you cannot take such critical decisions in my name and I don't know the nitty-gritty surrounding this particular move. It's a very serious move. Leasing your ports for 30 years. Some people who are alive today, 30 years from now, they obviously, well, that's what, the year 2054. It'll be long gone in 2054. And that's when the government of the day will make a determination as to whether they will extend the lease by another 10 years. Talking about your ports. So let us be, as somebody said earlier, let's try and be as consistent as possible. I mean, people are demonstrating, people are chanting all kind of songs. The beach is mine, for land that did not belong to the people of St. Lucia, but seaports. We're not saying it's not a good deal. We're just saying, in fact, I am saying, let me not speak for anyone, I'm saying I don't know what is in that deal. I'm curious. And maybe the rest of the nation, they are satisfied, they are okay with not knowing. All right, let's take a final call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Tim, very quickly, I know you. What exactly is Charlie 5, Tim?
I don't know, sir. I'm just reading certain things about it. I don't know about it.
Oh, man. I thought you were totally au courant of whatever Charlie 5 was when you didn't ask the lady. Does Kimani know what is?
I suspect Kimani knows. Yes, Kimani knows. You know Kimani?
It's a divination game, and what it is that you ask it. It's a supernatural game where you. I can't explain it, but let's just say it's a divination game. That's all I could say.
Oh, it's one of those things like the Ouija board.
Yes, similar to it.
Tim, this kind of heavy information. You can't leave the country, not knowing that. Secondly, Tim, so they were playing this kind of Ouija game and they got hysterical. What they see? Bolums? Do we have any details on what exactly caused the hysteria?
I did not get into this nitty-gritty, but I just read the letter that was sent to the parents. So that's what I could have shared with the audience. But I don't know about what game the children were playing and if they were playing any games. That is the information that apparently some children have conveyed to their parents.
Mass hysteria on the bolomology in the school. Are you aware that this AstraZeneca, remember that?
Yes. The vaccine?
Yeah. That they have admitted in court in England that the jab can cause deadly blood clotting deadly blood clotting and other side effects. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware.
You knew that, huh?
Yeah, so you are assuming, making us what? We're supposed to assume that that's what happened to the students. There was the link.
No, I'm saying that we in the third world, we just die and anything we take it for granted. We go to a doctor, take it for granted. We don't have the means to get a second opinion. Everybody latches up together. We take anything at all, and some of us, like I even did some influencing. Although when I did my influencing, I said I didn't have any logical reason for it. I just figured we should do something. Obviously, my thinking wasn't too good at the time, because if I had to do it all over again, I would not have had that COVID jab, because there was not enough information, and it turns out the people here knew nothing other than they were being told, and the people who were telling them are now under manners to defend their positions. Big story. You're aware that Mr. Countryman put out another video?
Yes, another one today. I got it, but I've not been able to listen to it.
Why is that not making the news, Tim? Nothing of that is the media is encouraging the silence on this matter, because not just you, but no other media house.
I reported on it.
Huh?
Yeah, I've asked somebody was the subject of those videos to comment on it.
But also the revelations that the guy's making.
The allegations.
Some of us know them to be true, or we have good reason to believe they're true. So, at least an investigation or somebody, officials saying it's not true. Nothing.
But you would know that you cannot force people against whom certain allegations are made to speak.
Nobody can try, my friend. You can try, Jim.
And we don't know what.
I'm dying one of these days to hear you put a call to one of the government ministers' offices to see what happens. You remember on Talk, I called a hotline once, a hotline that was supposed to be available from dawn to dawn.
And it wasn't functioning.
Three times I called and the phone rang off.
Yeah.
Of course, the minister in charge cussed me out like hell the following day. He cussed me out, not the fact that his hotline was
not working. Yeah.
Did I hear you suggest it's a sign of things, I suppose, suggest to the leader of the opposition that he ought to take an injunction against the complaint he gave this morning?
No, I extracted this from the chat room. Somebody said,
it was in the chat room?
Yeah, somebody said to the leader of the opposition, you have no business questioning the company, GPH, on this. File an injunction against the government. But I think, Rick, maybe a Freedom of Information Act would do. If we had a Freedom of Information Act, a citizen, could have probably applied to get the government to provide that information with regard to
the agreement. You don't understand what a Freedom of Information Act is, Tim. The government decides what it can call secret, classified.
Mm-hmm.
So if the government doesn't want you to know something, it can still classify that thing so you don't get the information. And now, like in America, they go to higher courts.
Yeah.
They go to higher courts. They have lawyers coming in and doing. But of course, the lawyer fraternity is a gang. It's a gang, to quote Dean Hamilton. The lawyer fraternity has nothing to say on anything.
Nothing at all.
As I don't know, and we don't talk, and Lucians don't talk. That's only half true, right?
We talk well. We do talk.
Yeah. Some of us talk. Some of us not only talk, I'm sorry, he said St. Lucians only talk, but take no action.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that's not true, because we've been seeing a lot of action in the last few years here, especially. A lot of action. The point is, on what side? What side does only talk, and what side also marches and beats bands and makes noise and et cetera, et cetera. Well,
all right, Rick.
Have a nice one.
Thank you so much, sir. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. Netanyahu tells Biden he's worried about possible ICC arrest warrants. Netanyahu tells Biden he's worried about possible ICC arrest warrants. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the most monitored talk show in the world. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.